Hello kids, how are you? And once again I welcome you to my English class. And student, today we are going to continue with the second part of the Great Stone Phase. Okay, first chapter we have done, and now we are going to do the second part of this lesson, the Great Stone Phase Part 2. Okay. Children, it is written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I told you about the writer also, and within 5 minutes we will revise the main points of the lesson. That children, the Great Stone Wall was formed from nature, and children, the people of that village, which was in the valley of those mountains, where the great face wall, stone face were carved, where it was made by itself by nature. Children, the people who were living in the valleys of a village, they thought, children, that one day a person will be there in the village whose face will resemble with the great face wall. Alright, so they were having this strong faith. In fact, children, there was a prophecy. Now in that village, a small child with his mother was also living, and children, the name of the child was Ernest. He also, children, had, in fact, the prophecy was told to him by his mother. She told when she was young, a story was spread about that great stone face, that one day a person with the same face will born in the village. Now children, even Ernest started believing, he had faith in that prophecy. He started believing that one day this prophecy will become true. Okay. Now time passed, children. Ernest has grown up into a very kind person, very generous, very noble person. And children, he is not only helpful to his mother, but whoever wanted his help, he just run and help the other people. Okay. Now children, it was also a belief that whatever the happiness was there in the village, and whatever the not only happiness, whatever the fertility and good agriculture, lot of sufficient water was there for drinking, was there in the village, was due to the blessing of that great stone face, which was there on the rocks of the mountain. Okay, so children, people used to believe that one day, surely according to the prophecy, a person will come who will be having the same face which the great stone face was having. And children, when people used to look from far away, it was a face of a very generous person, that great stone face. A nice smiling and intelligent look was there on his face. But when the people used to go near the rock, simply a huge form of rock was to be seen there. Okay. Now children, here Ernest was the person who used to look at that face for hours, and he used to think, children, that certainly one day the prophecy will become true. One day a person will come by that face. Okay. He sits for hours and he watched that face. In fact, children, he started thinking that face to be his teacher. There was a telepathy between them. Telepathy means he used to feel Ernest whenever he used to sit for hours. You used to see the face of that person, the great stone face. He used to feel that face is telling something to him. So there was a telepathy between him and the great stone face. Now children, 2 to 3 person came in the village, and people thought that they were the person whose face remember. One was the gather gold. Okay, he was a person, he was a very rich person. He went to the distance place to earn the money. After earning the money, he came back to his native place. But then finally the people, at first they believed that he had the same face, but finally the people started believing that no, his face is not resembling. Then children, and the time, and the son of the village, who was the commander, and he fought very bravely in the battle. He was in fact, he joined when he went from the village at many years ago. He joined there as a soldier, but now children, he is coming in the village as a commander, and he had got promotion because he had fought very bravely in the in that village, in the battle. Okay, so people started believing that he is the person with the same face. But when he came near again, it was Ernest who thought that he is not having the same face for whom he is waiting. Okay, now children, in this chapter, the great stone face. Okay, in this chapter, children, we will read about Ernest first. That many years have passed, and now children, Ernest was now a middle-aged man. Now he is no more a boy or a child. He is no more a young man. Now that fellow Ernest has turned into a middle-aged man. Children, now children, he has become a bit old also. White hairs are there on his head and wrinkles are there across his face. But children, at the same time, he is very wise. At the same time, Ernest is very wise. He became famous in the valley. People used to admire him for his intelligence, and children, for the kindness, the kind deed he used to do to, not only to his mother but to all the people. Whenever they needed him, whenever they called him, he used to go and help those persons. So these are the two reasons that he became very popular in the village. Children, learned man from city, not only from the village, many intelligent and learned man from the cities, they came to see him because daily he was becoming very famous due to his intelligent need. He was very intelligent because he was very brilliant, and secondly children, he was very helpful and very noble person. So many people came to him from the city also. They visited his house, they talked with him. Now children, when Ernest was growing old, a new poet who was also previously the native of that village, he arrived there, he came back to the village. Now children, even he loved that great stone face. Okay, he had written in his poem, he had written many poems related with that great stone face of the mountain, and he had spoken high of the great stone face in his poem. Well children, even Ernest heard his poem, he admired his poem, and children, when Ernest heard his poem, he had a feeling that this is the face of the man whose face resembles the great stone face. Okay, after hearing his poem, he had this feeling. Well, the poet children too had heard about Ernest's wisdom, and he even wanted to meet him because he had already heard about Ernest's fame and wisdom and his kind nature and his helping attitude. So he also wanted to meet him. One summer day, children, he arrived at Ernest's door, and children, he told that he wanted a night shelter there. Ernest definitely, he did not know how to say no, especially to those person who came to his house. So he told, okay, yes, you can also share our house for a night. Well children, afterwards he came to his house, he took a one night shelter, and children, they started talking. together. They started talking together. Children, what did the poet found? The poet found that Ernest was very intelligent, he was very gentle, he was very kind, and he was very hospitable. He hadn't seen a person like that. And children, Ernest was also looking at him very carefully and tried to find that his face is resembling the face of the great stone face. So he was also watching him very minutely, very carefully. Okay, he was also watching the poet's eyes and face and his future. Now children, he started comparing the poet face with that of the stone face. And children, but then finally what he found that is still a lot of thing is missing from his face, and that's why his face is not resembling with the great stone face. Now children, when the poet asked him why he was looking very sad and he was continuously looking at him, he told all what had happened to him from his childhood. Not even he, but his mother, when she was very small, when she was a child, they both were believed in that prophecy, and they were waiting that somebody would come whose face will resemble with the great stone face. And children, he told when he read his poem, he became convinced. He thought that his face, the poet face, will resemble the face which is there on the mountains. Okay, the great stone face. But finally, children, he knew that it is not the same face. Now, the poet also claimed that his face is not matching, is not resembling with the man face, with the great stone face which is there on the mountain. Now children, it is true that he had a high dreams in his mind, but children, sometimes he don't have belief in those dreams. Now children, both started crying when Ernest thought he was very much sure that the face of this poet will be resembling the great stone face. But then when he looked at him very closely, he found that he is not the same face. And children, when he read his poem, when he felt that he is not the same person, tears came in his eyes. Ernest started crying. When this thing was realized by the poet that no, till now the prophecy had not become the fact. It has not. It is not turned into the reality. So even he felt sad, and both eyes were wet with tears. Children, in the evening they went to the meeting place. Ernest spoke out his thought, and children, there Ernest started speaking something very important to him about his high thought, whatever he used to think of that village or people or of this world. He started speaking. He started telling about his thought to everybody. His word had power because they had depth. Children, this is very important line. His word had power because they had depth. They were the words of life. Whatever he was speaking, it was vibrant, it was full of life. A life of good deeds and selfless love. So what were those words? Those words were related with life and selfless love. Children, when he was speaking, a grand expression was there on his face. On whose face? On the face of Ernest. The poet cried out that Ernest was the real likeness of that stone face. And children, the poet, he was watching him very carefully, and then he shouted, "Oh, it is you, Ernest. You are having the same expression, and the expression of the great stone face is the same. That means your face is now resembling with the great stone face." And children, the people also agreed. When they started looking at him closely, they saw, they told, now the prophecy has come true. Now it is the face of Ernest which was resembling the great stone face. Now children, the prophecy was fulfilled. It was Ernest whose face resembled with the great face, stone face. Okay. But children, Ernest, he still keeps hoping one thing. He thought that one day, much wiser, a person will be there who will be much wiser and better man than himself would come to this village, and his face would be matching with the great stone face. So children, here is the end of the story, and now I will be doing the explanation of the chapter. So I have told you about the background of part 2. Okay, and now I will be reading the chapter, I will be doing the explanation, and I will be telling you about the new words. So children, please open to page number 132. Okay, and I am going to read the second part. And now children, many years passed. Ernest was now a man of middle age. So children, many years passed, and children, with the passing of time, Ernest has become a middle age person. To his neighbors, who never suspected that he was anything more than ordinary and familiar face. Now children, his neighbor never suspected. Now I've written some important word, meaning you can copy it. Suspected means doubted. Doubt, having a doubt. Familiar, well known. Familiar is a well known. Furrows is deep lines. Hurried past rapidly. Hurried means past rapidly. Furrow means deep lines. Familiar is well known, and suspected is doubted. So these are the important word meaning, and children, please jot down this word meaning in your copy. Note it down in your copy. Now, the student. Now children, to his neighbor who never suspected. So suspected means I have written doubt. His neighbors who never doubted that he was anything more than an ordinary and familiar face. Now children, his face was little more than ordinary. He was not a normal person. He was little more than ordinary person. But children, this thing, the neighbors, they could not suspect this thing. He was only a humble and hard working. Now to them, he was very humble. What is the meaning of humble? Children, very kind, okay, and very meek, and he was a hard working person. Though thoughtful person. Though children, he was very serious. He used to think. He was very thoughtful person. But what about the old prophecy? Was it ever fulfilled? Let us read and find out. Now children, what about the old prophecy? Prophecy, I told, what is the meaning of prophecy? Forecast. Forecast. F-O-R-E-C-S-T. Now children, everybody was thinking, even this fellow, the Ernest, even he was thinking about the old prophecy, when it is going to come true, and will it ever fulfill. So let's read and find it out in this chapter whether the old prophecy was fulfilled or not. The years hurried on. Now the years passed, the time started passing, and brought white hairs upon the head of Ernest. Now children, white hairs were appearing on the head of Ernest as he is becoming aged, and made wrinkles across his forehead. They were children, fine lines were there upon his forehead, because now he is growing old. And furrows in his cheek. What is the meaning of furrows? Furrows means deep line. Children, deep lines were there on his cheek. That means his forehead were full of wrinkles. There were other deep lines and wrinkles on his cheeks. He was an old man, but not in vain had he grown old. Children, he is old man, but children, in fact, it is useless to say to him he is old, because children, more numerous than the white hair on his head were the wise thoughts in his mind. Children, it was the children, he was not old. Still, he was working. He was a hard working person, very active. And children, the white hair which was there on his head were the wise thought of his mind. Okay. And Ernest has ceased to be obscure. Obscure means not well known. What is the meaning of obscure? I will write it. Obscure means, see, not well known. So this is the meaning of obscure. Obscure means not well known. Okay. So this is the meaning of obscure here. So children, the meaning of obscure is not well known. And children, the Ernest had ceased to be obscure, unsought. Unsought means, I have to write it, children, ignores. What is the meaning of unsought? Ignore. Ignore. Okay, unsought means, you can see it, I've written ignore, so you can write it in your, this new word in your copy or in your book. So, and Ernest has ceased to be obscure, unsought for, undesired. Now children, Ernest, though he was a very good person, he was very popular, but children, he did not like all that popularity. He did not want that he should be observed by many people. He wanted that he should be ignored by many people. And had come the fame which so many seeks. Now children, but children, he was becoming famous. He was becoming famous with so many seeks. Okay, so he became famous with so many seek. College professors and even the active men of cities came from far to see and converse with Ernest. Not only children, the people of village, there were many college professors who came to meet Ernest, who came to him, who met him. Many children, wise person, professors and other persons from the city, they did like to meet him because he had become very famous. Though he did not like to be very famous, he wanted to move away from becoming the celebrity famous person. But children, but when they come to his house, he received them with gentle sincerity. He gave lot of respect to these people when these people came to children his house. Okay, when they visited his house, so he gave a lot of respect to these people. And children spoke freely with them of whatever came uppermost. Okay, so children, whatever came uppermost, whatever came in his mind, at the upper portion of his mind, that means in his mind, he spoke freely with them, very frankly with them. So children, even they loved the way he used to talk with them, very frankly, very honestly, with full of sincerity. Okay, or lay deepest in his heart or their own. Children, deepest thought of his heart was shared by them. While they talked together, his face would brighten, unaware, and shine upon them as with a mild evening light. And children, when he used to talk with them, what children, people used to see that his face was becoming very bright. There was a glow on his face. Unawares. Unawares means this was unknown to Ernest. He was not knowing that there was a brightness in his face. There was a glow in his face. He was unaware. and shine upon them as a with a mild evening light. Children, he was shining, his face was glowing in the mild evening light. So children, he was becoming famous. People used to come and visit me. But children, he did not want that he should become so famous. Anyway, but the people, whenever the people came to his house, he greeted them in a most respectful manner. He shared his thought very frankly. He talked to them whatever come to his heart. He was an open-hearted person. Okay, until in his face there was a glow in his face which people had seen him. He was seen, he was watched by many people, until in the mild evening light his face used to glow like anything. While Ernest has been growing old, God had granted a new poet to this earth. Children, here Ernest is growing old. Children, here God has sent one famous poet in this native village where Ernest was living once again. That means once again the people of that village had a nice poet. Okay. He too was a native of the valley. Now children, once upon a time, even he was the native. He was also living in that valley, but had spent the greater part of his life in distant cities. Now children, but later on he moved to the other city. He moved to the distant cities. Okay, pouring out his sweet music everywhere. And children, what he used to do? He used to pour out his sweet music everywhere. Neither was the great stone face forgotten, for the poet had celebrated in a poem. But children, when he went abroad also, when he went to many cities also, children, what happened? The poet, okay, what the poet had done, children, he had mentioned in many of his poems the great stone face of his village. He had mentioned in many of his poems the great stone face which was there carved on the rock by the help of the nature. Even he was not able to forget about that great stone face, and he often used to mention about that face in many of the poems which he had written. The song of this poet found their valley to Ernest. Okay, children. Now children, this poem had reached to Ernest also. He read them after his customary toil. Customary toil means usual work, daily work, whatever he used to do daily. Children, Ernest, what he used to do, children, he came and what he had done, children, he had, okay, what he had done, children, he had after children completing his daily routine work, he used to read about his poem. So customary toil means, children, he was reading his poem after his unusual work. Customary toil means unusual, his daily routine work. As he read, he lifted his eyes to the mountain. And children, when he was reading that poem, he used to lift his eyes towards the mountains, and he used to see children, in a very curious manner to that stone faces which was carved on the mountain. "Oh, great stone face," he said, "is not this man worthy to pure likeness?" And children, what he used to say, I told you, children, he used to share his thought. They were having telepathy. Okay, it seems to us when we read this lesson, it seems to us that this Ernest, he used to talk with that person whose face was there on the rocks. So children, he looked at that face and he told, "Is not this man worthy to be your likeness?" That means, don't you feel that this man is resembling your face? He is not as worthy as you are looking to him. Okay, so he started looking at that great stone face, and children, he started talking to that person. The face seemed to smile but did not answer. Children, when he was talking to him, children, what he felt? He felt that the face is looking at Ernest and it is only smiling, it is not giving any reply. Children, usually the face he used to feel that the face is replying to him. But today, children, when he talked to that face, what happened? When he talked to that face, it seems to him, it appears to him that this face is simply looking at him and simply talking. Instead of talking, it has passed and smiled to Ernest. It has given Ernest felt that it is simply looking at him and it is smiling. So children, the time is over now, and in my next video I will continue the lesson. So with this, I end my video here. I conclude my lesson here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.